All right, first and foremost, it is an unbelievable honor to have Coach Hartman coming back and have his support and that he's always shown for the program, and now with the new leadership and myself taking over the program, to have him behind me and our program. I couldn't be more touched by the fact that he was willing to come and be our guest. And the numbers that we have for registration this year, I think we're probably at a 4 or 5 year high. You know, I think we're 50 or 60 guests more than last year. So that's all you really need to know about what type of presence he has, what his name means in the town of Blacksburg and on our campus here at Virginia Tech, and it's great to have him. I'm sure you're going to ask about this year's team, so I'll beat you to the punch on a couple things. Things are going great. I like how our team has been practicing. Things are coming together. We have a really good core of returning juniors specifically, with a 3-year starter behind the plate, a 3-year starter at first base, a 3-year starter at second base, 3-year starter at DH, all regional center fielder coming back, and Brad on the mound making 15 starts for us last year, Tanner being a 5th-year senior, Tanner McIntyre. So we have a really good core of battle-tested players, and you're gonna see a lot of new faces. We have, I think it's 18 new players on our roster, primarily freshmen, 14 freshmen I think, and 4 junior college players. So we have a good mix of guys. We're just trying to, as these practice weeks have gone by, we're just trying to find the right mix. But everything's going good, and I like where we're at right now. We're pretty close to being ready.
To go back a step to Coach Hartman, what beyond tonight, what kind of a role do you see? I mean, do you like having somebody like that, around the program and as a resource?
Absolutely, for a couple reasons. One, he's earned the right to be around, and I respect tradition and history. But also, I think it's important for our players to see that, yeah, okay, Coach Hartman put in a lot of time and won a lot of games and built this program, and he's welcome back anytime. I want our freshmen to see Coach Hartman, and then when they're seniors, see that he's still at the field, so they feel welcome when they come back. And that's what type of program we've always run here at Virginia Tech, and I want to continue that moving forward. He's seen a heck of a lot more baseball than I have, so I'll respect his opinion on players too when he comes down and tells me what they're doing right and wrong.
He said
pick your moments, Coach, with that.
He said the only thing that keeps him away sometimes is the cold. How have you dealt? It's been a pretty cold winter season here. How has that, if at all, impacted what you guys have been able to get done?
It's actually, unless becoming the head coach changes my mindset, I feel like it's been a better spring than we've had since I've been here. I don't know if you saw my tweet this morning, but I think we were one of the only, if not the only team in the state that was out on the field this morning. And the reason I know that is because as you go closer to the season, it's always inter-squad scrimmages, and that's where we're at right now. And the umpires in the state were out umpiring everywhere, and they called me this morning at 7 a.m. to see if we're still going. They said everyone else had canceled on it. So we've been outside since the first weekend, since we were indoors for our first practice, and we've been outdoors since. Accumulation of snow and rain, it hasn't affected our practice schedule, so the wind's been pretty tolerable, and today it was fine. So I think we've had as good as a preseason as we could have.
Just generally speaking, how do you carry the momentum from last year into this year, both on the field, on the recruiting trail? How do you keep it going?
Well, recruiting trail, we had to strike while the iron was hot. Our name over the summer was a hot name, so I think we capitalized on that. Years past, we had to sell our program a little bit more, but what we did on the field last year did the selling for us. So I'm happy with how we handled that and how we capitalized on it. With these guys here, the new challenge is to keep us at that level. Our program has been to regionals before. Now that we're in the ACC, we went in 2010. In the following year, we failed to get back. So that's the platform these guys have. They have the opportunity to make a difference in our program and keep us on that national scene. So we're trying to challenge our guys in that light, but I think we have a really good group of guys where they don't need to be challenged in the sense of being motivated and coming to win ball games. But that's kind of how we're moving forward. We're trying to make it an impact nationally and be a ranked team every year and have a legitimate shot at getting Omaha.
Can you talk about the makeup of this team? Because I guess last year, depending upon the lineup, it seemed like 2 through 7, you could leave the yard at any time.
Right.
But how do you score runs this year?
Well, we still have that core, the similar core that you're used to seeing. Mark Zagunis, Sean Kaselika, Brendan Hayden, and Ryan Burns, who were all starters for us in the regional last year. They all have the ability to leave the yard. We also have added a lot of speed, which is something we haven't necessarily had in the past. We've got a kid by the name of Sage Janko who plays center field that I think you'd be challenged to find anyone in the ACC who runs better than that kid. So he's going to be able to change a game for us both offensively and defensively with that asset. But we still have some guys that can leave the yard, and I think we're a little bit more athletic. I do think we're built to be a very good defensive team. I think that on paper right now, I think that's probably an upgrade from what you saw last year, but that also goes hand in hand with the different type of athlete that we recruited here.
You feel like you have, in your sort of area of expertise, enough arms that once you get to the season, you're going to have the depth in your rotation, your pen right?
I do, yeah. I feel it very similar as to where we were preseason last year. Last year we had a proven arm in Joe Manaply, and really everybody else was okay. We have some talent. Who's going to step up? Type of thing. It's the same thing this year. We know what we have with Brad Markey. He's one of the few pitchers in the country to beat a top 5 program twice last year. He went 2-0 in the postseason for us, and he's pitched on the big stage, and that's a very valuable asset to have. But we also get Tanner McIntyre back too, who was 10-0 so far in his career here. And then we're going to need some guys to step up. Sean Kaselika's looking like he'll be a rotation arm for us this year. He's a junior, and he's thrown midweek for us in the past couple of years. And we have a good core group of freshmen, one specifically Aaron McGarity, who is battling for either a closer role or a rotation spot too. But it'll all shake out. I know we have a lot of depth, and if our guys don't perform this year, it's not going to be a talent issue.
When you look